Today is February the 27th, and it's the start of the new moon at the end of February that will open March 2005. The new moon will transition through to the 28th, so the energies are good for starting fresh or new projects. The new moon reflects a new beginning. The new moon is the transition from a waning moon to a waxing moon, and a waxing moon goes with the energies of starting new projects. It's time to set goals for the month ahead, start new initiatives, begin new relationships. The waning moon, however, has a different energy, and it's the time period between the full moon and the new moon, and it is on clearing clutter, ending projects, getting the work done to end projects, to end relationships. So it's the cleaning up. So spring cleaning, yard cleaning, washing the car. And the new moon is for bringing in new energy. The new moon today and tomorrow is in Pisces, which reflects meditation and contemplation, which is good for the supermoon that we're experiencing right now. And the supermoon actually amplifies emotions. So meditation and contemplation is the best two qualities to pursue to calm down your emotions. I've written a calendar of intentions for people to follow. It's a program, and it follows the 8 phases of the moon, from the new moon to the full moon and then back into the new moon stage. And the purpose of that is to support people in becoming familiar with the habit of setting goals. Goals are something that is scary to people that aren't familiar with pursuing that habit. Goals to people mean they're making a contract, a contractual commitment. And the worry is, what if they don't add everything in that they need to set that goal? What happens if they fail? What if they forget something? Or what if they get partway through and it's not the goal after all? So what people are doing is they're letting their fear steer them away from setting goals. So they're letting things happen to them. They're being buffeted around by life, and they're not co-creating with life. So this program is to co-create with life using universal values. And universal values are qualities of life that we all values, are qualities of life that we all share. So it's important. Not only does it build our confidence, create safety, replace the word boundaries, it increases self-confidence, and it increases the ability to make choices and decisions quicker, smoother, without it being a judgment or having to build up anger to say what it is that you want. When you start to set intentions and work with goals, it's in your voice, it's in your mannerisms. You just know what your goal is, your intention, and you know what values you're trying to meet, and there's no doubt. So the choice is obvious, and it's how you project your own emotions when you're speaking about a topic that conveys to people that you've got confidence, you're self-assured, and they don't need to give you strategies. Rather, they support your goals. When there's doubt, they take over. and give you strategies and then grade you on your outcomes. It's confidence that changes that. So that's the intention of this goal setting program. So the 8 phases that I use in the goal setting program begin with the first phase of the new moon. And I mentioned a moment ago that was new beginnings, a fresh start, and a blank canvas. And so the new moon, again, is in Pisces, and it is a time for contemplation. So in the new moon phase, it's the time to envision what you're longing for. It's when you would use your imagination and you would dream in what you would like for the month of March. And it doesn't matter if it's a bit outlandish, you're just starting to dream what that might be. You're not setting the tasks on how to fulfill that dream. You're just envisioning what you would like to create for yourself. So the second phase would be the 29th, or would be March the 1st. So 27th, 28th is the new moon. And on March the 1st, we enter into the second phase, which is the crescent moon. And that's the phase where you would begin to commit to your goals. Again, you're committing to your goal, but it's not set in stone. Goals are meant to be flexible and change. It's about writing out your goal. You work with it for a few days and you edit your goals. You take out what doesn't work and you add in something that you might enjoy more. And so there does not have to be a contractual agreement that you make with yourself. Rather, it's a commitment to yourself to work with setting an intention consciously. And when you set an intention consciously, you're co-creating your experience. So after the second phase, you move into the third phase, which is the first quarter moon. So the crescent moon is between the new moon and the first quarter moon. The first quarter moon is on March the 6th, and that's the challenges and starting to take action. So you have time to consider what your actions are going to be between the new moon and the first quarter moon. So it's not thinking of a dream and then manifesting it tomorrow. I know we have been taught to work hard and achieve quickly. However, when we work hard and achieve quickly, the quality of our effort is not as high as it could be, as if someone were to slow down and manifest through consideration and reflection and contemplation, and starting to let the universe or your unconscious work with you. When you move too quickly, your unconscious mind is not working with you. You're doing it all on a strategy level. And so there isn't the connection between the mental, emotional, and the physical. And so slowing it down and working through the process helps to ground it in more solidly. It's an integration process. So after the first quarter moon, we move into a longer phase, and that's the gibbous moon. And the gibbous moon is again adjusting, refining, and editing the intentions that you've been working with from the 1st to the 7th. And this is where you would take out what's not working, you would refine the goals that you have, and you would really check in to your dream and see, Does this goal match up with the dream, or does the dream match up with what's coming through in these past 7 days? You started with the dream, but what's going to happen is your unconscious mind and your consciousness is going to bring up information if you're listening. And this would be the stage to start to edit that and include those new energies. And working with values, as I mentioned in the beginning, some of the values for goals in this program that are ones that are on the pages for you to consider and just give you some insight as to refining your goals. So the values that I have on this page are home, family, support, employment, community, friendship, relationships, travel, to be heard, to be seen, to be loved in your relationships and intimacy. So values are things that we regret or mourn or grieve that are not the quality that we want in our community, in our relationships, and we react. However, we have an opportunity to identify what that value is, which bypasses the level of emotion that can become our reaction when we recognize that we're not getting intimacy in the relationship. If we're working with it through an intention with our goals, we're more apt to have a different conversation inside where we're moving out of victimhood and into becoming action orientated. And so I encourage people to start a program like this just to beautify their relationships inside themselves as well as outwardly with other people. Being in reaction all the time is not a very gracious experience. So moving out of the gibbous moon, we're moving into the full moon phase. And between the new moon and the full moon, it's half the 8 cycle pattern. The full moon is when the seeds have been planted. It is done. So the seeds that you planted on the 1st of the month, they're planted. And now they're going to manifest in some way. And so you've done the groundwork, you've planted the seeds, and it's time to be confident. Let it go and be confident because the seeds have been planted. After the full moon, which is another strong energy in the month, comparable to the new moon, they're both strong energies. So after the full moon, you're moving into the disseminating moon. And this is the point where you would share your goals with another person. For the first 2 weeks of the month where you've set your goals, you wouldn't necessarily share them with anyone. As when you do, it becomes their task in life to correct you, to change your goals through their conversation, critique them, judge them as right or wrong, give you strategies, and all of a sudden you've lost your power. And so when you have that 2-week period of dreaming in your goal, writing them out, editing them on your own, what you're doing is you're building your own inner confidence muscle. And you're starting to develop autonomy and independence from what other people think and what they feel you should be doing. And so when you start to share your goals, there's no doubt. You're working towards moving out of doubt and into gratitude. And so with enthusiasm, you would share your goals because you've had 2 weeks to work with them and you've already set them. So the stage of inquiring whether you've set the right goals or if you should do this, that's long over. And those are the qualities we want to age out of. Those are qualities that we could have aged out of when we were 18, 17, 16, with good support from our parents. However, that may have been missing. So now we get to parent ourselves. And this is a nice program where it's integrated. You don't have to think about it. So after the full moon, it's the 3/4 moon. And that is another time period between the 3/4 moon and the next new moon. So it's the 7th phase until we move towards the new moon. And it's the time to release, let go, and forgive. If there's any forgiveness of yourself for perhaps you forgot something in the goal setting in the new moon stage, let it go. You've got 12 more months until February, the end of February of next year, to manifest. And so the objective is to change your goals as you go along, be spontaneous, be flexible, and whatever you have forgotten or whatever you've worded in a way that you're not proud of, redo it in March, at the end of March with the new moon that's coming up. You have another opportunity. So this is the stage of empathy and self-empathy. So you're having empathy for yourself. The balsamic moon, the 8th phase, is to surrender, rest, and recuperate. And that's the stage of considering the coming new moon. Not necessarily writing out your goals yet or even dreaming them in. However, just starting to become aware that there's a new moon coming and another opportunity to go through this cycle again.